So, hello guys. Once again, thanks for coming on, joining our huddle at the training camp. This time we have a special guest on the floor here with us, on the webinar with us. Sorry, it's Mitel, and we also having Kevin Groth from VMware, who's going to talk to us about how Mitel and VMware has come with this unique virtualized unified communication solutions, and we're going to see how this collaboration will help us increase our sales. So I will not say much. Having said that, I'm going to pass the ball to John. Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Rucha.
Yes. So, John, you can take the floor from here, and I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Great. Welcome to our team, John. And here we go.
Great. Thank you very much, Rucha. Welcome to the Valuable Tech Data VMware Partners, and special welcome from Mitel. We have been a really good partner with Tech Data here for a couple of years now, and I want to really just bring a solution that you might have thought about over the last few months or few years. You know, you're providing a great solution from VMware, definitely industry-leading solution for your customers' data centers and maybe their desktop support also. And what we're just going to talk about over the next few minutes before Kevin does his piece on the new Horizon 6 with you is really the way to add voice and why you might want to add voice to your solutions that you offer to your customers and what kind of value that brings. So we have a lot of different offerings that do support the VMware and can be run just as another application within your existing virtual environment. And I'm going to concentrate on really 3 of them today due to time, but just realize that the portfolio is even broader than what we're going to talk about today. But it all starts with the actual voice engine. So we're going to start with the My Voice business opportunity, and then the next big thing, and then a really big thing in the industry today is collaboration and sort of like also what we're doing today with desktop sharing, web conferencing, things like that, and that is the Mitel My Collaboration Suite. And then really what we've done is something unique in the industry is we've combined the core voice engine with the collaboration engine into one virtual server. So that is the Mitel VUCC proposition. So with that being said, when I'm done, Kevin's going to go ahead and give you an exciting new view of the View product. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Mitel, if you're not intimately familiar with us, we are definitely a global player. I've got a slide. I'll talk about some recent acquisitions. But Mitel does work in over 100 countries, 2,500 channel partners. We're number one in certain areas of the world and really pushing hard to get that higher rating in some of the other sections. So Mitel is definitely a big company, and we can fulfill these requirements not only in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, but really around the world. So wherever your customers are, that's where we are. So, you might ask yourself, what does Mitel do? You may have heard of us, but you may not be intimately familiar with it. But we really have a very broad portfolio set, from the enterprise play to the mid-market and down to the SMB. We can play in all 3 areas. We deal a lot in premise, but as we know, the world is starting to go towards the cloud, so we're getting very, very big in the cloud, and of course, contact centers. But at the end of the day, it's the devices that the user touches that really make or break a solution. But just realize that we have a very broad portfolio, and we'll be able to provide a very comprehensive solution. Right now you've got you're the trusted advisor for a lot of your existing customers, and the idea here is to add voice to your existing infrastructure and really treat it just as another application, just like an Exchange server, just like a web server. Voice is just a natural progression, and it's going to allow you to get a higher percentage of the IT spend. So it just really is a natural progression. A little bit of an idea of really what Mitel's been doing just in the last year. We've actually had 3 major acquisitions we've made, one being our Prairie Fire, a longtime third-party aggregator for Mitel in the call center space. That's one of our main pushes in the market. As you can see, we're number 1 in a large part of Western Europe, the Netherlands, big in the UK. We've also just merged or actually purchased Astra, and that's really going to make us a big player in CALA, as well as Eastern Europe, Asia, and the parts of the world we may not have been top 3. So the last purchase was just in March. It's our Oasis industry-leading recording solution. So Mitel is on the move, and we'd like you to come along on the ride with us. So the real core of the solution is the voice platform. So we call that the My Voice business, and that can be deployed many different ways. And one of the ways it's very important, and back in 2009, Mitel was very forward-thinking in partnering with VMware. We were one of the first communications companies to partner with VMware, and voice always has had a little bit of a struggle in that instance because it's real-time data. It cannot be retransmitted. If you don't get it the first time, you don't get a chance to get it again. So really, this platform is going to provide you with the core telephony features, the resiliency to be able to fail over to another virtual server, things like that. And really, the enterprise space, as well as down into the mid-market, that's a very, very big player. They want to make sure that their systems are up. 4 nines used to be the expected uptime. It's really up in the 5 and 6 nines at this point. And without VMware, we wouldn't be able to do it. So again, we were one of the first ones to partner with them. Our solution is more mature than a lot of our competitors. We allow industry standard servers. Definitely don't go with a walled garden approach. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. You're not stuck into one particular manufacturer of your switches, routers, or network infrastructure. And at the end of the day, it works like every other application. The MyCollab is really our presence engine and our collaboration engine. The workforce is getting much more disparate and spread out around the state, the country, the world. So, a lot of our workers work from home, work from multiple offices. We're always on the go. So for customers with those type of things, the MyCollab suite really gives you a way to bring these disparate people together. So whether it's the presence engine, your unified messaging, your audio and video conferencing like we're doing right now, or really mobility, that's probably the biggest change. Bring your own device. So you're not really stuck into a specific manufacturer of devices. We support, the iOS, the BlackBerry, as well as the iPhone. The Android. So it really doesn't matter what kind of device. We can bring those devices into your network, whether you own them or you provide them to your customers. It doesn't matter. So mobility is really a big play because it allows you to have what we call first call resolution. So whether you're sharing documents or you're just trying to get a call when you're away from your desk, our MyCollab solution is really going to leverage those capabilities. As an example of what we're doing right now, I'm doing a one-to-many collaboration session right now, but on a day-to-day basis, this allows your customers to do a desktop-to-desktop sharing. So whether it's helping to close a sale or providing technical support, the ability to just do that right now ad hoc desktop-to-desktop sharing with video is something that's really going to help your customers become more efficient and more effective. So we also integrate with leading cloud services like Google, as well as others. So it's really a great feature. Our feature has a recording feature like we're doing right now, and this allows people that maybe missed this meeting to watch it at their leisure. So a great solution. Mobility, as we talked about, whether you're using a desktop, a soft phone at home, maybe your iPad or Android device, or any of the cell phones you see in front of you, we bring those devices and create it as a SIP soft phone and allow you to make and take calls from that device as if you were in the office. And that's another big tenet of Mitel is in-office experience anywhere. And these type of things really resonate with your customers' IT and C-level people. So, making their employees more efficient, more effective, it's either that or add more employees, which they may do both. But technology is a great way to really enable your staff to do more and be more efficient as they do it. So this mobility play is really going to allow you to really do anything you need to do no matter where you are. And this is really the sweet spot between the two. So if you've got a smaller, say under 300 desk or customer, under 300 users, this is a great way to put both of those two capabilities within one virtual server. So the MyCollab with Voice really brings everything we've talked about so far into one virtual server, allows it to be resilient like all of our other VMware applications. And we even have some what we call UCC licensing, which bundles together like the video capability with the mobility capability and cuts a nice percentage off that. So it's a great way for small to medium customers to have the same capabilities as your larger multi-thousand enterprises. And this is called MyCollab with Voice. And this can be deployed many different ways. Your virtual environment can be on-site. It can be a public cloud. It can be a private cloud. It can be a hybrid cloud. So really there's a lot of flexibility in how you deploy it. No two customers have the same strategy as when it comes to disaster recovery. That is a big piece of this solution. having it up all the time. And that's really what VMware allows us to do. I think this is a little bit of a review for everybody on the call, but, we take advantage of the same type of power sharing, the reduced hardware, server hardware, the power consumption, the cooling, and allowing it to fail over to backups. And, it really mitigates the risk via the high availability tools like vMotion. So, we take advantage of the largest number of VMware features like vMotion, vStorage, things like that, high availability, as any of our competitors out there. Again, we've had the longest running relationship with VMware in the industry. That makes ours definitely more mature of a solution. A few other reasons here. Consistent data center practices. We don't make you change or break your normal routine, so this really fits into the VMware environment just like any other application. We are infrastructure agnostic, as I've mentioned. It doesn't matter what your infrastructure is made of as long as it follows regular industry standards. So at this point, we definitely are a leader in the virtualization environment, and that's why the choice to go with VMware was definitely a great choice. Really the next big step, the first start was to virtualize your servers to allow the voice application to have the same kind of resiliency and redundancy as your data applications. That's really your key benefits on the left, virtualizing the server, allowing it to sit on the same virtual server or virtual environment as your file server, your database, your enterprise apps. But it really is a feature-rich communications and collaboration tool. Simplified management, that's a big piece of it. Instead of having 3 different applications to manage, it's all put together into one management tool. And of course, we're going to lower your costs and increase your productivity. Now, that's on the virtual server side. The next big piece is, and this is where Kevin's presentation is going to dovetail into mine, is now we're extending that capability to the desktops. So rather than just virtualizing the servers, we're virtualizing the user environment. And that's the next big step. And again, voice has that unusual real-time requirement that email and web servers do not have. So there's a lot of benefits to virtualizing the desktops, a lot of the same benefits as the servers, but really it goes to the next step because you may have 10 or 20 servers, but you may have 300 users. So allowing the IT department to be a little more efficient, being able to manage a larger number of users with a smaller IT staff, allowing your customers to have the ability to have high quality audio with or without a desk phone, unhindered mobility no matter where they are. So the desktop is really going to be a strong player for your customers, and that's really where the C-level people are looking for: increase efficiency, lower my cost, and allow us to manage it easier. So, and security, that's another big reason. So our tools are built in with built-in encryption and those type of things. So it's really a great secure environment. And centralized administration, you may have a customer with many different locations, but they can manage it from a centralized site. So not only can you do that with the virtual servers, you can do that with the desktop experience also. And that's really going to really resonate with your customers. So adding Mitel to your portfolio is, I'd like to say it's a no-brainer, but of course thinking and measuring always comes in part of it. So, if and when you make that decision, your partners at Tech Data can give you some more information. I am the systems engineer that is dedicated to Tech Data. I've got a team of 12 people behind me, so just reach out to your contact at Tech Data, ask them for some more information, and we definitely will follow up and hopefully bring you on as a valuable partner for both of our tools. Really as a bit of a transition here, with the desktop play, the VMware Cloud Hybrid Service, Kevin is going to give you some more information on that and run you through some pretty exciting stuff with the VMware Horizon 6 with you. So what I'd like to leave you with is we'd love to have you become a new Tech Data Mitel VMware partner, and we welcome you with open arms, and we're going to have a great solution for you. So with that being said, Kevin, take it away.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. If we could, John, I'd like to stay on this slide for just 1 second, before you pass me the ball and before I start anything else. And a couple of the points that John called out, I was really pretty excited about. He spoke to the fact, and I don't know how many of you caught this, and a lot of you know that, or maybe familiar with the types of deployments that we use, inside of vSphere, inside of Horizon. But one of the specifics that he called out was, the flexibility of using the MyCollab with voice, and the fact that can either be deployed as a singular appliance, for your proof of concepts and pilots, or you can deploy it in a distributed fashion. So it deploys very much in concert with the same ways your architectural decisions are going to be made around the VMware stack. And that's very important, because that means, as John pointed out, that when you're talking about leveraging high availability, being able to suffer the loss of an entire host, an entire cluster, an entire rack of servers, an entire data center, right? Whatever it is, you can protect the voice components the same way that you protect the data components. A little side note here, and something that kind of struck me as John, as you were talking, was we're dealing with similar protocols, right? Those of you who have read the Horizon battle cards, have read about PC over IP, and you understand why that is beneficial. PC over IP operates a lot like voice over IP. And for that reason, when your customers start talking about integrating these solutions into a unified workspace, it also means from an administrative perspective it's going to become easier, because they're going to be tuning based upon the same sort of ideals. So when they're doing their stuff up at the top of rack and all that good fun stuff, when they're tweaking and turning knobs and lifting dials, they're going to be dealing with components that are operating kind of in the same sort of frequency band. So it's going to become very easy for them to create senses of optimization. So with that, I appreciate that, John, and if you could pass me the ball, that'd be super.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thanks. Okay. So let's see here. Let me get to where I can share a desktop with y'all. And okay, so you've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. A lot of what's been coming out in the press I've been very excited about. Everybody has been saying that VMware has unleashed Horizon 6. Now, some of you saw a presentation I did a couple weeks ago, and I had some pre-GA bits that I demonstrated to y'all, and you guys have some fantastic questions about it. I've been asked to come back. I was very excited. I appreciate Richard doing that for us, and for Tech Data putting this together with John and I. So I will say that this presentation includes 33% more pre-GA goodness. Okay, so this has got all kinds of more groovy stuff for you to look at and go ooh and ah over. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the platform, let's just talk quickly about the idea. The idea is that we're moving away from client-server into a space where we're taking apps, data, and we're ubiquitously putting it across all devices. One of the things that John mentioned was, the idea of having soft phones on, Android and iOS, and, all of this good fun stuff, and BlackBerry access. These are all those ideas about unified content delivery, not just device delivery. If we look at where VMware is sitting in this, we talked about the virtualized infrastructure today. We talked about integrating that with hybrid cloud computing. Those of you who might have been on a call a little earlier today, we talked about VCHS. Layering management and automation, being able to meter and tell where you are with these systems so that you can effectively manage them. And more specifically, you can predict when you're going to run out of resources, right? Wouldn't it be great to know when you're going to, potentially run out of resources, or when you need to apply different layers of protection or distribution for your MyCollab with voice, appliance, right? Or to be able to know what you're looking at from an I/O throughput perspective for voice over IP, right? These are good things that we can do in collaboration with one another. All of this sums up that big idea, right? The software-defined data center, which is, at the end of the day, just part of the software-defined enterprise as a whole. But today we're here to talk about end-user computing, specifically how we can deliver to desktop, mobile, how we can deliver socially, right? Again, ubiquitous ecosystem integration. That's the idea, right? If you got buzzwords and you're out there playing bingo, we can say single pane of glass and all that good fun stuff, but at the end of the day, it's about leveraging what they have and expanding it forward. Because after all, what do customers want? They want to be able to take what they need, have it delivered to them, and then they need to consume it. They want to push the button, right? They want to tap the screen. They want to get what they want. You guys have heard me talk about the gimme button, right? Well, inside of Horizon 6, the idea is this, that we give them that anytime, anywhere, access through a unified workspace. One of the things John mentioned is the idea of an in-office experience anywhere. I love that because, I don't work in an office. I wager some of you don't work in offices either. And that poses challenges and it poses benefits. But the one challenge it poses that we need to meet is the ability to access everything you need, regardless of how you're accessing it, anytime. And be able to just launch the app, be able to get into it, and get on with your day. Now, one of the unique components about Horizon 6 is the way we integrate for the customers. We allow our customers to brand the workspace. So they can have their own branding, so it can be, if Mitel were using this, have the Mitel colors up there, and, for Tech Data, you'd have the blue and the gold and all that stuff up there. And, it gives them a way to make it their own, right? And what are they making their own? They're making their own the ability to access all sorts of things. A couple things I want to bring your attention to. Now you see that virtual desktops are now a part of the workspace. So you're seeing the virtual desktop there. In addition, the hosted applications. Those of you who haven't seen this work are going to in just a minute. In addition to the old thin app packages, we also have a clear integration with Google applications, including forward federations. You don't have to create accounts for people. They can actually auto-create when they click the button. You guys have heard me talk about that before. And we also have new integrations for Office 365 using the WS-Fed authentication method for people that aren't looking to have that big bloated infrastructure. And for those who are still leveraging maybe a XenApp application deployment farm, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Workspace and VMware, we're not about rip and replace. We're about ecosystem integration and about leveraging what they have and expanding it out. And so with that, we allow them
Hey guys, seems to me that we're having some technical difficulty. Just try to see. Give us a couple of seconds to fix this. Hey, Kevin?
Hello, can everybody hear me now? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, now we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, it disconnected me, guys. I apologize for that. Obviously, were we using the Mitel solution, this would not have occurred.
Absolutely, right. You're totally right.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's do something fun. Everything works when it's on a slide, okay? But I've actually recorded some new pre-GA bits for you all to look at. So what we're looking at here, I'm running Horizon 6 on my desktop. You see I got all kinds of icons. I got my desktop and all sorts of things. I'm going to do something relatively pedestrian. I'm going to launch Internet Explorer. And you see now it launches inside the new client, and I'm able to leverage Internet Explorer in a seamless manner against my Macintosh operating system. Right? I've not left. I've not jumped into another window. I'm just using it right alongside my other apps. And I'm even leveraging the Genie effect and the dock and all of those cool things, right? It makes it very, very seamless, very easy. So customers aren't bound to what they conventionally think. But let's do something a little more exotic, right? What about like SQL Server Management Studio? running that on a Mac. I mean, an inherently Windows-based platform, right? It's right in the name, okay? And, I'm able to use it at full speed, I dare say probably faster than I would on a Windows machine. And I'm able to leverage, I can run SQL scripts, I can do whatever I want. And again, right in concert with all of my Mac-based apps, okay? And because of the way we're leveraging the protocol, we can run multiple apps at the same time. Now, let's say I want to go over and I want to do something on my desktop. Talk about the exciting ideas John mentioned of, being able to, have your soft phone. Imagine being able to pull this up, at a kiosk anywhere, and you've got your soft phone integrated. You've got your collaboration, worked right into the desktop. Something a little more exciting than pulling up a calculator, right? And being able to pull up the browser, work in here, work outside of here, work wherever you need to work, so that you have, again, that ubiquitous content-based experience. That's the big idea. Being able to access anything you need, any way you need it, and to have integration points with all of the exciting things that Mitel's talking to us about, right? So, this is all well and good, and this gives us a pretty clear vision of what it looks like on a desktop. And again, that's Mac or Windows, right? Obviously. But what if we do? What if we want to go mobile, right? As the WHO told us, right? So, if we were to look at this, this is a screen scrape of my iPad, okay, reflected onto my Mac, and so this is also running the new Horizon 6. You can see I'm doing something, again, relatively pedestrian, Notepad++, not exactly a native application to an iPad, as many of you would understand. I can close that out. That section over there can be branded however your customer wants to. And I have a different sort of insight into the apps. You can see all those apps lined up there on the left. I can run any application I want that's available inside of that RDS host. Okay? We've talked about the ease of setup, the ease of stand-up, right? So now we're seeing just how easy it is for users to keep working regardless of where they are. So when we talk about the ideas that Mitel is bringing us of these unified workspaces with soft phones and MyVoice and MyCollab and all of this cool stuff, you can see how that could become just another icon over there on the left that they can leverage. And then, if necessary, they need to get a little bit more of a power experience, well, they can just launch the desktop. And then they've got the desktop running on their device, right? Same thing, soft phones, all that kind of stuff. Any way you want to collaborate it, any way you want to slice it, that becomes available too. As I've mentioned before, with all of this goodness, people go, geez, well, this is going to be a lot to maintain, right? This is a lot of mess. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts. Well, we make it easy on the support team. I've talked to you about, our integrations with vCenter Operations Management. And I've talked to you about VCOps for View, being able to see your View infrastructure right next to your vSphere infrastructure, being able to give the support team the ability to look at a specific desktop. Let's say you got, Joe, Mary, George, and Frank are calling up out of Toledo, and they're saying, hey, our desktop seems slow. Maybe the voice is not coming through perfectly clear. Well, we need to figure out why that is, right? Well, instead of trying to, hem and haw and chase it down, VCOps for View allows us to go directly into that desktop, find it graphically, and then look at all of the data that desktop is producing. Keep in mind, this is a virtual desktop that was probably created on the fly, right? But now it thinks it's a real boy. And we're able to see its workload, its I/O throughput, all of that. And all of these plugins that you're seeing here come native. This isn't something that it takes professional services a week to build. This is plug in, drop it in. I think it probably took me about 15 minutes to install it, right? So it should take everybody else 5, right? So, if we look at, that level of ease, being able to drill into the environment and see, entire pools of remote data hosts, right, of RDS application hosts, of maybe hosts that are building out different VMs, and being able to see them all in one spot. That to me is very exciting. You may have heard me before say that usually, if I give this presentation, I actually did this live here just a few days ago for a bunch of folks, and true to form, they said, well, if it's easy on the users and it's easy on the support team, then it's nightmare on administration. And just like with John's solutions, VMware solutions are all about ease of administration and ease of deployment and scalability. So if we look at the new Horizon 6 bits, you can see here I'm logged in as an administrator. I can drop right into the administrative console, and that's pretty much it. If I want to deploy SynApp packages, have a repository, or Citrix applications, I just follow the wizard, follow the bouncing ball, and it takes me where I need to go. I can see all the applications that I've deployed. I can see, if I want to add an application, I don't even have to know what I'm looking for. I can just go to the Cloud Application Catalog. I can click a button, and I can see, okay, well, I want to add, Office 365. I want to add Box.net or Google Apps or whatever. It'll ask me for the correct authentications, and then it drops them in. I can bind this to policies, allowing, our administrators more flexibility. And the one thing an admin always loves is to generate reports, right? 3 hours that they already spent of the week. But now they could drill in to something this granular. They could see activity for the past month, based upon a specific application streamed out of their virtual enterprise, and they can see who's using it, when are they using it, what are the audit trails, all sorts of things, IPs, all of that takes them maybe 2 minutes to generate the report. Okay? So again, these are exciting ideas when you talk about ease of integration. Now, this is the new View Console, and I want to share this with you because I just love this, right? In addition to having the desktop pools, we now have listings for the application pools. Now, these application pools, maybe we're delivering My Collab versus via an application pool. It's as simple as just clicking. It adds it back to the applications that the user can see, and then it's ubiquitously distributed across all of their devices, right? You're not talking about a big stand-up. You're not talking about a big thing. You're just talking about pointing it at a virtual server, standing it up, and then you've got applications here that you can work with and play with. So that's the big idea. Now, if it's easy on the user, it's easy on the support team, it's great on the admin, it's got to cost a fortune and be difficult to get. We offer 3 easy ways and 3 easy ways to motion Horizon. Horizon can be purchased as Horizon View Standard. The operative word here is View. Keep in mind that View Standard is going to give you all the basics you need to stand up Horizon View. Okay? On the far side, with Horizon Enterprise, you're talking, kind of like upper echelon sort of customers, right? High-level enterprise. For most customers, my suggestion is to target Horizon Advanced. The reason, it gives them the functionality to start thinking outward to the cloud. It gives them a platform if they want to migrate to enterprise. It gives them all of the functionality of standard plus some, and it gives them deeper integrations down into the data center. So Horizon Advanced is really where you get your bang for the buck, and here's why. Inside of these Horizon editions, if we look at the Horizon View Standard, they're getting what they need for the hypervisor. They're getting their core vCenter and all of that good fun stuff, and they're getting the ability to package thin applications. Okay, we remember from our previous conversations that the thin applications can only run on this type of system they were captured on. So if you capture it on Windows, it only runs on Windows. Okay, that means you're not going to be able to take a Windows app and run it on a Mac, okay, with Horizon View Standard. But in addition, when you go to Advanced, you get the hosted apps and the ability to run any application anywhere, anytime on any platform. You get the ability to integrate with things like, get the application catalog, integration with XenApp, integration with the RDS hosted apps and the other SaaS-based apps like Google and all of that. And in addition, we give you licenses for virtual SAN for those users as well. For those of you who remember virtual SAN, that's the ability to take all the localized storage on those hosts and create a storage area network. So if you talk about, ease of SKUs, ease of deployment, somebody could go in, they could buy some servers, they could apply their Horizon SKUs, and they're going to have their integrated storage, they're going to have application access and streaming, they're going to have desktops, they're going to get their vSphere, their vCenter, and then they can go and plug Mitel in on top of that, and they've got a real solid solution, and they haven't had to do a bunch of heavy lifting. And the best part is, when it goes to be deployed, it means you're really going to be looking at a high success level because the deployment personnel are going to have an easy time deploying it. You've got appliances from Mitel. You've got appliances and easy binaries from VMware. They're going to be in and out, and they're going to be earning that trusted advisor status. So with that, I'll say thank you for my part. Ask you to follow me here at kgrote on Twitter for more news, and I'll hand it back to Russia.